And so I came up here to talk about pleasure and sex.
Yeah.
Because it's been resonating through every night when we're up at the crow's nest crowing. And it's just been great fun. And I'm seeing all this energy happening, and I've not heard you talk about that on the DVD, so I wanted to get your thoughts about it.
Related to what? It's a big topic.
It is. Anyway, relating to relationships and incongruencies of beliefs. So as we become freer and freer, how does sex play into our lives as we get more in alignment?
The most important thing to remember is that it never works to try to, in an action sense, sort out all of the possibilities and define right behavior and wrong behavior. Mm-hmm. And that's mostly what people attempt to do around the subject. Instead, from the life experience that you have lived, define as best you can what you want, and then become a vibrational match to what you want, and you will attract into your experience those who want that same thing. For example, let's take the subject of wanting one life partner or wanting many sexual partners. Mm-hmm. Very different stances relative to the subject of sexuality. So let's say that you, or some subject, you are someone who has defined through what you've lived and through the relationships that you've watched unfold and through your own experience that you now are looking for a person that you can be involved with completely and make, at least from where you are standing now, your life partner. And you want to be true to that person in the sense that you will only be with that person, and you want that person to be true to you in that same sense. So that's what you've decided. Those are the thoughts you think. You don't give attention to other thoughts. That becomes your vibration. It's what's in your vibrational escrow. Source calls you toward it. You follow the impulse. You meet up with that person. You recognize one another because that's the way you intended it to be, and you live happily ever after. But let's say that while you want all of that, and while you believe it is possible, that you have been listening to what others are doing, and you do remember experiences that you've had, and you have experienced betrayal of people that you thought would be true to you. And so even though that is what you want, that's not the drum that you often beat. And so you have something you don't want active in your vibration. So what you do want's over here, but what's active in your vibrations over here, in fact, it's more dominant. So the people you keep attracting to you are the exact opposite of what you really want. And it happens long enough that you lose faith in humanity. You lose faith in your ability to get what you want. You begin saying things like, the kind of person I want is no longer out there. When it isn't that the person isn't out there, it's that you're not a vibrational match to your own intention. So there is not a right or a wrong way to approach this or anything. Your life has helped you define from where you stand what you now want. And it may be that you will intend it one way and maybe live it that way for a while and then maybe change your mind. There is not one right way. But in order to have a satisfying experience, no matter what the topic of it is, you've got to be in alignment with you. So again, we talked about this earlier. When you take the time to find vibrational alignment, then the action part of it comes easy. You get impulses, and as you follow the impulse, you end up at the right place at the right time, and life unfolds so easily. We were visiting with a woman recently, very recently, who said, I am old. She basically said, I am in my 40s, and I have...
That's funny.
And I have just found the person that I want to spend my life with, and we only met 30 days ago, and we're engaged to be married, and our families are, especially my family, is very upset about this because they think that I am moving too fast. And we said it wasn't really that fast. In other words, your lifetime, you have been identifying what you are wanting, and you've just now found a releasing of resistance. So you've allowed yourself to move to where what you want is. That's what relationships are about. Look at relationships as law of attraction and vibrational escrow, and see the love of your life in whatever form you want it to be there with your inner being, and then reach for downstream thoughts and you'll go right there. And it doesn't take that long. You could have been looking for months or years or decades, and in the understanding of this knowing and in the releasing of resistance and the no longer beating of the drum of worrying about getting something that you don't want, you'll turn and you'll find exactly what you do want.
Can we talk a little bit about self-pleasure and how that plays in, well, no pun intended of that, but how that all plays into the releasing of resistance, so to speak?
Well, it is as relevant or irrelevant as you want to make it. In other words, there is nothing right or wrong about anything. The question that you want to ask yourself relative to all subjects is, during my action, am I having downstream thoughts? That's the only thing that you need to be aware of. And anytime you are having downstream thoughts, anything that is happening while you are having the downstream thoughts is of advantage. But so often people try to use action to replace thought. And that is the thing that we're encouraging. Let your thought come first, and let whatever action is inspired happen. But let the thought be thoughts of alignment. And then there is always benefit.
Have any of you experienced sex?
There is nothing that you experience that is positive in nature that which is non-physical doesn't experience. In fact, even in meditation, sometimes people experience what they would call that sexual arousal or sensation. And that's what that is about. In fact, sexuality and alignment are not separate vibrations. But again, you can take any subject and experience it from upstream or downstream, and you know the difference, you see.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, indeed. We have enjoyed this interaction immensely. It is delicious to come together with those leading edge creators such as you and chew upon the specifics of your life experience. We particularly enjoyed the movement forward relative to global issues. And we want you to understand that whether you are talking about things that are happening in the world that you feel is external from you, or whether you're talking about something as specific as your own personal pleasure, we want you to understand that in all that you are living, no matter what the subject of your attention, you are contributing to this leading edge environment. You can tell by the way you feel whether you are coming closer and closer to the discovery or manifestation of what's waiting for you in your vibrational escrow. And we can feel, and some of you are beginning to recognize it too, that some of those things that you have for unconscious reasons been holding yourself apart from are about to begin to show in your experience. We want you to, as it is unfolding, give credit to your releasing of resistance. Let the releasing of resistance be your mantra, your downstream thoughts. And as you begin to apply yourself in the effort of reaching for the downstream thought, those around you will be astonished at the fast movement in your life experience. We're looking forward to the days that are still before us. There is much more that will be discussed, and we want to assure you that there is nothing that you are percolating with out there that will not be fully and completely addressed. As you are putting yourself in your bed tonight in readiness for tomorrow and for the gathering that will happen tomorrow afternoon, let your thoughts go like this. Everything that I want to know is coming forth not only from the platform and the words of Abraham, but through the other co-creators who are surrounding me in this environment. And in the days that follow this night of sleep, It is my expectation that I will see evidence of the releasing of my resistance. Because as you stand in expectant watching for evidence of the releasing of resistance, as these things begin to pop around you, your feeling of control and your feeling of enthusiasm will grow dramatically. And it is our expectation that in the final hour that we spend together, that there will be some dramatic sharing of some major breakthroughs that you will be experiencing. This is just the beginning of so much more. And you never get it done, and you cannot get it wrong. And the reason that you cannot get it wrong is because it is never done. So be playful about it. We make far too much of all of this. There is great love here for you. We are complete.